Let's just get this out of the way. Spider-Man 3 is not the disaster people love to pretend it is. Sure, it's messy. It's definitely trying to do a little too much. And yeah, we all remember that dance scene. But I'm gonna be real with you. I think this movie gets way more hate than it deserves. This isn't a bad movie, it's a flawed movie, and that's a big difference. In fact, there's some genuinely great things in here. Sandman, incredible. Visually stunning and emotionally rich. Venom, okay, not comic accurate, but conceptually, he works. He's a mirror of Peter, and that's still interesting. And honestly, the whole emo Peter thing, while meme-worthy, that's kind of the point. So today, I want to talk about this weird, bloated, beautiful mess of a movie, because Spider-Man 3 might have fallen short of greatness, but it also didn't deserve to be the punchline it became. Let's break down what works, what doesn't, and what Spider-Man 3 could have been if the studio just let Sam Raimi do his thing.
Hey man, we got something on the roof!
Alright, first things first. Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman, phenomenal. This might be one of the most visually stunning villain origin scenes in any superhero movie. That moment where Flint Marko first reforms out of sand, no dialogue, just haunting music and raw emotion, it's straight up beautiful. You can feel the pain in his movements. He's confused. He's desperate. He's trying to pick up a locket with a picture of his daughter with hands that just won't stay solid. It's poetic in a way you don't really expect from a Spider-Man villain. And that's Raimi for you. He brings this weird balance of comic book energy and genuine humanity. Sandman isn't evil for the sake of being evil. He's just trying to survive, trying to help his daughter. He's a guy who got dealt a bad hand and made some choices that only made things worse. Plus, the action scenes with him, incredible. The armored car heist, the underground subway fight, the way his body dissolves and reforms mid-battle, it all looks amazing. Even today, the CGI holds up surprisingly well. If the movie had just been about Peter dealing with Sandman, maybe wrestling with forgiveness versus vengeance, we could have had something special. You can tell Raimi cared about this character. Sandman feels like the heart of the movie, even when everything else is spinning out of control.
Hey, Parker.
My God, Eddie.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling. If you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's talk about the big symbiote in the room, Venom. Now look, I get it. If you're a diehard comic book fan, this version of Venom probably made you want to throw up. He's small, he's snarky, and he's played by Eric Foreman.
Eric, what the hell? Did you just kick my door?
We are Venom.
It's not what most people were expecting. He doesn't feel like the hulking, monstrous Eddie Brock Venom from the comics. But here's the thing. As a concept, as a dark mirror of Peter, Venom actually works really well. Peter gets a taste of power, raw, aggressive, no-holds-barred power, and it corrupts him. He lashes out, he pushes people away, he starts doing things he wouldn't normally do. It's not subtle, but it's effective. The symbiote brings out the worst in him, and that's the point. Eddie, meanwhile, is Peter without the humility. He wants success, admiration, and validation, but he's willing to lie, cheat, and manipulate to get it.
I lie, I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal.
So when he bonds with the symbiote, it's like watching Peter's worst-case scenario come to life. The design might not be perfect, the execution isn't flawless, but thematically, it fits. Would I prefer to more comics-accurate Venom? Sure. Do I wish he had more screen time and wasn't crammed into the final act? Absolutely. But even with all that, I think this version of Venom brings something really interesting to the table. Also, that church bell scene, kinda great. The way the sound affects the symbiote, the dripping black goo, Eddie's transformation. It's Raimi horror vibes back again, and I dig it.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
What's going on here?
Are you guys all right?
Yeah, no, we're just horsing around.
All right, let's talk about the most infamous part of this movie, Bully Maguire. The bangs, the finger guns, the sidewalk strut, and the jazz club. Look, I won't lie, the first time I saw this movie in theaters, I cringed. I think everyone did. But with time, and the power of memes, I've kind of come to love it. It's supposed to be cringy. Peter Parker is a dork. He doesn't know how to be cool. So when the symbiote gives him confidence, he doesn't turn into a badass. He turns into his idea of a badass. It's like watching someone who's never been on a date try to act like a player. It's not threatening, it's just a little embarrassing, and that's kind of brilliant. This isn't Peter being cool, it's Peter being corrupted, losing touch, acting out, hurting the people who care about him the most. It's him becoming someone he's not. It's not subtle, and it's definitely not slick, but it is consistent with the movie's message. The power without responsibility can make you a dick, even if you're just a dork in eyeliner. So yeah, I get why people laugh at this part. I laugh too. But honestly, it's way more self-aware than it gets any credit for. Okay, now let's be real. This movie isn't perfect. Far from it. The biggest problem is just too much. You've got Sandman, you've got Venom, you've got the symbiote, you've got Harry turning into New Goblin, you've got Peter and MJ's rocky relationship, Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben's murder retcon, Aunt May giving speeches, J. Jonah Jameson popping pills. Like, it's a lot. There are 3 separate villain arcs fighting for attention. And while some of them are genuinely great on their own, they don't all fit together. The movie feels like it's being pulled in 3 directions at once. You can tell where the seams are, especially when the tone shifts wildly. One minute it's emotional and grounded. The next it's campy and over the top. In the pacing, it's pretty rough. The first hour is solid, but the back half, it is just chaos. So much happens so fast, and then boom, the final battle. It feels like the movie is sprinting towards the finish line just to wrap everything up. In that final fight, it looks sick, don't get me wrong, but it's not earned. The Peter Eddie showdown doesn't have the emotional weight it needs. And Harry's redemption arc, while sweet, feels very rushed. Nothing has time to breathe. So what happened? Simple. The studio. Sam Raimi never wanted to include Venom. He didn't like the character. He didn't think he fit with the tone of the Spider-Man trilogy. He wanted Sandman and maybe a redemption arc for Harry. That was it. But Avi Arad stepped in and said, nope, Venom's popular, put him in. So here we are. You can feel Raimi trying to do his thing while being forced to make a different movie. It's tug-of-war filmmaking. He's trying to tell a story about forgiveness and inner darkness, and the studio's over here yelling more villains, more action, more Venom. It's a miracle the movie works as well as it does. If Raimi had been allowed to just follow through with his original plans, focus on Sandman and wrap up the Harry and Peter arc properly, we could have had a deeply emotional send-off. Instead, we got a compromise, and like most compromises in art, it left everyone a little unsatisfied.
I forgive you.
But here's the part that gets overlooked. Spider-Man 3 still has heart. There are moments in this movie that really work. Aunt May telling Peter about forgiveness, Peter and Harry reconciling before the final battle, that brief, painful scene where Peter hits MJ and realizes what he's become, and Peter forgiving Flint Marko in the end. Those moments feel earned. They feel like Raimi slipping through the cracks of the studio noise and delivering something real. At its best, Spider-Man 3 is about the cost of pride, about how easy it is to lose yourself, to hurt the people you love, and to let darkness creep in, and how hard it is to make things right once that happens. That's powerful stuff, especially in a genre that often leans too hard into the spectacle.
Now dig on this.
So where does this movie sit in the grand Spider-Man timeline? Honestly, it's aged better than most people expected. For a long time, it was the laughingstock of the trilogy, the one that ruined it. But now, with the benefit of time and about a dozen worse superhero movies later, it doesn't look so bad. It's messy, but it's also ambitious. It swings for the fences, and when it hits, it really hits. And let's not forget, this movie gave us some of the most iconic content in the history of the internet. Bully Maguire is eternal, and that jazz club scene will live rent-free in all of our heads forever. In a weird way, Spider-Man 3 has become beloved because of its flaws. It's a movie people love to laugh at, but also one they've grown to appreciate. And that's kind of beautiful. So here's where I land. Spider-Man 3 is a flawed film with a lot of heart. It's overstuffed, inconsistent, and occasionally ridiculous. But it's also emotional, creative, and full of great moments. Sandman is a top-tier villain. The Venom storyline, while not perfect, adds interesting layers, and the whole Bully Maguire saga, I've come full circle, and I love it. Would I have liked to see Raimi's full vision without the interference? Absolutely. But even with this compromised form, Spider-Man 3 still manages to deliver some solid Spidey entertainment. It's a 3 out of 5 for me. Not a failure, not a triumph, Just an awkward, charming, fascinating end to the beloved trilogy. And hey, if you thought this movie was divisive, just wait until next time, because next up, we're diving into The Amazing Spider-Man. New actor, new suit, new tone, and some very strong opinions. Is it underrated? Is it a mess? Is Andrew Garfield secretly the best Spider-Man? We're going to talk about it all. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments, where does Spider-Man 3 rank for you? Did it deserve the hate, or have we been way too hard on it all these years? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
I mean, look at that suit.